night.
Well, folks, we are in the Ford Focus ST. I've had this car now for 20,000 miles, and I drive it about 110 miles per day. So I think it's a pretty good time for you to tell you my driving impressions. Well, first of all, it is a little bit jumpy. It is a sports car. So you're not looking at a vehicle that's, you know, Mr. Creature Comfort like the old Cadillacs. But it does handle extremely well. Very neutral. Almost feels like you're turning on an Access. It's a front-wheel drive car. It doesn't dive like I've had in experience with front-wheel drive cars. The back end of this will swing out on you, which is real nice and a lot of fun to drive. The handling characteristics are outstanding. I'm very impressed. I love the vehicle. The fit and finish, the quality of the products used are outstanding. Very happy with it. So, how's the car drive? How fast is it? It's fast. This is a fast vehicle. Very pleased with it. It's not like the new RS that's coming out, but with a modification chip and maybe $700, you can get this thing almost as fast as the RS. You're not gonna have the four-wheel drive, four-wheel steering and all that. I got this Ford ST3 fully loaded for $26K. So I'm not gonna drive like a maniac, but you can hear the engine roar a little bit during this drive, and hopefully none of my camera equipment slides all over the place, which it might. This is a very quick impromptu video. So that noise you hear is not the exhaust. That is actually the sound imposer that is inside of the vehicle. That is so you know when to shift, because a lot of people do it by sound, feel, all that good stuff. So it's important to be able to hear your engine and hear what it's doing. The sound imposer does a pretty good job of that. But the exhaust sound is very quiet. Alright, some people like that, some people won't. I particularly like it because I don't like a really loud vehicle that everybody turns around. The Fiat Abarth, I could pass my neighbors going 45 miles per hour and they would later say I drive like a maniac. I'm going 45 miles per hour. That's the speed limit. This vehicle, no comments, no looks, no nothing. It also doesn't have that boy racer thing. Nobody's going to come up next to you and want to race you constantly. I do miss the attention that the Abarth got. This doesn't get quite as much. Obviously, it's not as noisy. It doesn't sound like it's about to explode. But vehicles like the WRX and a few other people that really know cars know what this car is and know the capabilities of it. It is very quick. Especially from a roll, because standing you get a lot of wheel hop, and I'll see if I can demonstrate that here. Wheel hop being that it wants to jump and jigger and all that stuff. So you see that, the wheel hop that you get, that's the lack of traction that only a front wheel drive vehicle will give you. The RS would not have that problem, okay? But in the twisties and the turns, like I said, if you got a chip with this to maybe boost it up, instead of being 260 horsepower, maybe getting it up to 290 or so, 300, you would definitely be able to keep up with an RS. Being that it's front wheel drive, all right? It's got good handling characteristics, and you would have that torque on demand. The turbo really doesn't kick in first gear very much. That's mostly all engine. Now, around second gear, it definitely does kick in. And you can definitely feel the difference. Right now, we're in third gear. Now, let's just throw it into 6. All right, let's go up to 60. When you're in 6th gear, it's quiet. Nice and quiet. I'm going to show you how easy it is. It's so responsive. Very responsive steering wheel. It has that wee factor that's really nice that people really enjoy and like. So is it faster than the Abarth? Now remind you, my Abarth was really souped up. This is definitely faster. Does it feel as fast? No, it does not. The Abarth had an awful lot of torque, and I did an awful lot of work with that. on that vehicle. So of course you're going to get a vehicle that's going to feel a lot torqueier, but this one has really high torque numbers also. It feels very stable around the turns. That was I'm just having one hand on the steering wheel. The vehicle does respond very well. It handles downshifts very well, which the smaller engine, the Abarth, did not. Feels, I mean, you have lots of confidence in this car. Once you get used to it, you have even more confidence. A lot of people are scared because front wheel drive, you do have the chance of losing traction. But this car is very fast. Third gear, you can easily hit almost 100 miles per hour. Second gear comes well before you're about to shift into third also, which makes the 0 to 60 time pretty good if you can get those shifts right. Brakes are outstanding. I'm not going to brake really hard or I'm going to lose my microphone. But again, you have that wheel hop. If you time it correctly though, and bring it up to about 3,000 RPMs, you can get a pretty good, you can get a nice steady, but first gear comes really quick. Second gear is a real nice strong gear. So is third. When it comes to the turns and the twisties, you're looking pretty good on this vehicle. That's where this vehicle really does shine, and you do have an awful lot of good steering ability, and you can just have a whole lot of fun in this vehicle. You feel very secure on the road. It handles dips and potholes really nice. It is a larger vehicle than like a Mini Cooper or a Abarth, so you have that, you just have really nice big tires that roll. The standard equipment that comes with this vehicle, like the wheels and the transmission and all the good stuff, the engine, really good from the factory. The only thing I can really hit it on is the dampening of the shocks. You can kind of tell they went maybe a little bit cheap on the shocks, or they maybe picked a shock that wasn't of quite a good a quality as, let's say, an aftermarket Coney yellow. If I was to make any real modifications to this vehicle, I think it's fast enough for what I want. It's definitely not, I think, set up for like a racetrack, but the suspension setup, I would probably throw some Coney yellows on this thing, 600 bucks, put them in myself, and you would have yourself an outstanding handling car. Maybe throw a different sway bar in there, maybe a little bit beefier, but it's really not got a lot of issues like the Abarth had, where the rear sway bar is completely floppy. The GPS and all that works really great. Digging it, really digging it. The My Ford Touch is great. I don't know what all the complaints are about. I say find address. I say where I want to go, and it picks it up. This is a really bumpy road too, and the car really handles that nicely. I would say this is a really good entry-level sports car. It also has a heck of a lot of room in the back. It's very functional. You can fold down those seats. I don't know if you guys saw that one post of that military desk that I put inside my clubhouse. That thing fit right in the back. I popped the trunk, folded down the seats, not even flat, and I just threw it in there. That's a rather large desk that fit just right dab inside here. You have some gauges right below the camera. Shows your oil temperature, your turbo, and then also your oil pressure. Once you see how they're reading out, they're pretty good. They'll tell you, you know, if you're in an emergency situation. It also tells you when your vehicle's up to operating temperature, and you can really have a lot more fun with it. The turbo gauge Yeah, it's all right. You know, it could definitely be a lot more detailed, but it's like any other gauge that you would have in a standard vehicle. So it's not a racing type gauge, but it is definitely a gauge that you would have maybe in the Ford F-150 pickup trucks of that same quality. It tells you when you're in trouble, and it can alert you. But it is actually accurate if you look at what your oil PSI should be per operating temperature. Like for instance, if you're at 3,000 RPMs, where exactly you should be, it is actually accurate. Really handles nice though, takes these turns really nice. I'm not on a racetrack, but just a really smooth, just a real smooth drive. I mean, it literally feels like you're on rails, and I like that. Due to the dampening not being as good as it could be, you get a little bit of that jitter sometimes. So that can give you a sense of, I'm not in total control of my vehicle, but like I said, for 600 bucks you can fix that if it really does bother you that much. That sound imposer sounds really nice. And whoa, got like a flood here. Whoa! Always want to be careful out here. Really good brakes, you see that. Yeah, you hit that at top speed, I'd hydroplane right out the road. But the car gives you that confidence to do that kind of stuff. It's a really nice car. Really does stop quick. Brakes are fantastic. They have pretty good filling. They grab a little bit quick. So you don't have quite as much control as you would like with them. Left foot braking is, you are able to do that and kick that rear out a little bit more than you normally would. Gonna speed. I really don't feel like going to jail today. Fourth gear is a really strong gear also, especially when you're at a really high rate of speed. You're on the freeway or whatever. Fourth gear is a really strong gear. I really don't want to throw it into fourth gear because I'd be really exceeding the speed limit, which I really don't want to do. You're gonna have to take my word for it. I hope this video doesn't go on and on, but it is what it is. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Just a quick one. I will take you guys on a twisty turny type video when I get some time. Just really enjoying this vehicle. I highly recommend it, and for $26,000 you really can't beat it. Not yet. That WRX is really nice, just a little too much money. That's it. Take care.